Today is November 4th, 2024, and this is Trevino family video number 2. Hello, my name is Sonia E. Trevino, and this is a follow-up to the video that I released on April 23rd of this year. In this video, I will explain how Dade Phelan, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, of the Texas House of Representatives, is behind the viciousness with which the state of Texas has targeted and oppressed my family and me, even going as far as delivering threats through the Trump-Vance presidential campaign. Since 2015, Dade Phelan has served as a Texas state representative for District 21, which includes Jefferson, Orange, and Jasper counties. He served as the Speaker of the House since 2021, and I just found out that he is family to Christy Amarantos. May she rest in peace. Mrs. Amarantos was my school principal at Royalwood Elementary in Sheldon ISD from 2011 to 2014. In 2011, with the help of AFT, or the American Federation of Teachers, I used the grievance process to protect my job. I got to keep my job, and we continued working peacefully and productively until I left the district in June of 2014. She and I had no further contact after that. Then, almost a decade later, while updating my resume in June of 2023, I found her obituary online. Her obituary stated that she passed away in January of 2022. And my sincere condolences to her family. Now, going back to when I left Sheldon ISD in 2014, so although I experienced a false interview and some harassment at my next job, I did not think to attribute it to retaliation for the grievance that I'd filed against Mrs. Amarantos. Then, when I joined Galena Park ISD in 2016, the work-related bullying and harassment began in full force and has not abated. It has followed me from job to job. In 2022, after Mrs. Amarantos' passing, but before I found her obituary online, the bullying and harassment activity intensified exponentially. I couldn't understand why all of this was happening to me, but I did know that the school districts were promoting it. Now I know that Mr. Dade Phelan, Mrs. Amarantos' relative and House Speaker for the Texas House of Representatives, used his power and influence and the money to which he has access to surreptitiously target my family and me in a most vicious way. As such, Mr. Phelan continued retaliating for the grievance that I filed in 2011, but with an added measure of spite. From what I gather, Mr. Phelan and his family believe that I am responsible for Mrs. Amarantos' passing in 2022, even though she and I never saw or spoke to each other again after I left her employ in 2014. I often wondered why people didn't seem to care about denying me my civil rights, or about breaking laws, or about hurting my family and me. Now I realize that the orders for such activity originated from within the Texas legislature, and that they carried a built-in promise of protection. This is the reason why no one would help me, and why I found no justice in the court system. I realized that my loved ones must have endured a significant amount of pressure, stress, and fear in the face of such demands from Mr. Phelan. To carry out his family's desire for revenge, he has involved former co-workers, law enforcement, restaurants, medical practitioners, random members of the community, and more, both here in Texas and abroad. I've suffered false arrests, wrongful detainments, falsified police reports, assaults, theft, break-ins, etc. Houston ISD wrongfully terminated my employment in June of 2024, and I haven't been able to get another job, so I'm living from my retirement savings. It took a year for the charges in one of the false arrests to be thrown out, and when it should have been thrown out on day one. And there is a falsified protective order against me in effect, so I can't go home. Now the threats that I regularly receive have escalated as well. Some of them are delivered through former President Donald Trump's presidential campaign, and others through different media sources. The reasons why I believe that these are directed at me involve my on and offline activities, about which I will not elaborate at this moment. Some examples are: on July 19th, I wrote an email expressing sorrow for being unjustly separated from my sons. And in response, the media began re-airing J.D. Vance's cat lady comments on July 22nd. This states a bunch of childless cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives and the choices that they've made, and so they want to make the rest of the country miserable too. I also remembered that someone suggested that I get a cat the year before. On October 12th, former President Trump stated the following: "This election is your chance to send a message. Back home to mommy. She goes back home. Was that you, darling? Then she gets the hell knocked out of her." I understood this as mockery for having returned to live with my parents and as a future threat. On October 24th, I wrote the word hornets in a Word document on my computer. And that same night, the news story, The Hornet King, was aired. On October 26th, I said the word basura, or trash in English, at a gathering. Then on October 27th, Tony Hinchcliffe called Puerto Rico an island of garbage. On October 27th, a woman sitting outside the voting room said that I needed to have my driver's license in hand. When I grabbed it, she commented on my Eiffel Tower stamped wallet. Then a deputy sheriff waited as I exited Walmart. That night, the news story called "Undecided Voters Give Harris a Look but Not Commitment," in which a woman's dress is stamped with the same image, played on my YouTube feed. On October 31st, I contemplated going on a Daniel fast. So when I heard former President Trump's comments about Liz Cheney, I took them personally. There's a lot more, but it seems as though former President Trump's rhetoric toward me has someone softened lately, even inviting me to join his campaign. And the media has extended an apology or denial of sorts because I'm under surveillance and they can see what I'm typing as I'm typing it. Even so, all of this, everything that my family and I have been subjected to, has been at the hand of Dade Phelan, the extremely underhanded, vindictive, and oppressive House Speaker for the Texas House of Representatives. To say that the balance of power has been unequal is a gross understatement. Am I afraid? Yes. I know that Phelan and his family could send someone to end my life at any given moment. But what pushes me forward is that I've recently received some threats against my sons as well. So to deter anyone from harming my family any further, I am leaving this record of events. I also expect it to be used as evidence in case I wind up dead. And in my absence, I hope that this recording would help my boys to win a lawsuit against Dade Phelan. Thank you for listening. Have a blessed day.